This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hayes in the barn. That's right. A series win for the Baltimore Orioles on this Sunday. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 5-1. Hello, happy Sunday afternoon. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast, and as always, I'm Luke Slabaugh. I am your post-game show host exclusively for this year. As a reminder, we are streaming this show live on YouTube immediately after the game to get immediate reaction. And then it's available on demand after the fact, wherever you get your podcasts for free, and it's available on YouTube. Before we get started, whether you're watching live or watching after the fact, go ahead and leave a comment on who your player of the game is from this 5-1 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. And also, leave a comment just with your thoughts on the season, if this series win changes your perspective on things, and what you liked about today's win. Any dose of positivity in Birdland is welcome. The O's improved to 11 games under 500 with a win, and as of right now, recording live, they sit 6.5 games back of that third wildcard spot in the American League. They've got to leapfrog 7 teams to get into the postseason, and as we're about to turn the calendar into July, things look a little bit bleak. But what we're going to talk about today is how this team stood out situationally and fundamentally. It was a sound game, and it all started on the bump with Dean Kremer.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Tied for his longest outing since 2022, Dean Kremer dazzled today. 7 scoreless innings from the right-hander. Gives up 2 singles in the first inning, then goes on to retire 19 of the next 21 he faces. Fastball command was excellent. The splitter placed exactly where he needed to be, outside of the middle of the plate, and had the Tampa Bay Rays in the palm of his hand. Very clutch performance in this rubber game. Through some of the highlights, even in the top of the first, we saw the splitter maybe a little bit erratic, but he got Brandon Lowe striking out on a splitter in the dirt, culminating a good 5-pitch at bat. Got Curtis Mead striking on a foul tip on the cutter, running away from Mead. Top 3, getting Danny Jansen looking on a fastball dotted perfectly on the outside corner. Great fastball command. Then top of the 4th, Yandy Diaz looking, striking out with the splitter up out over the plate. Looked a little bit high. Home plate umpire Dan Iasonia gave the call to Dean. Very friendly over the course of the game. Squeezed him a couple of times early, but after that, Dean really settled in. Then got Mead striking out on a top shelf fastball to culminate the top of the 4th. And then Taylor Walls, top of the 5th, he challenges Walls with a fastball at 93, able to blow it right by him. Only 1 walk given up by Dino in this game, and it's with 1 out in the top of the 6th to Brandon Lowe. Then Yandy Diaz is up at the plate. Kremer gets in front, 0-2, throws him a curveball, hit to Gunnar Henderson on Henderson's 24th birthday. A 6-4-3 double play Taylor made, and the inning is over. And to add insult to injury, Kremer then twirls a 4-pitch inning in the top of the 7th, getting Jonathan Aranda, Jake Mangum, and Curtis Mead in 4 pitches. So the final line for Dean, incredible. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts. Pitch total for Dean is 93. Frankly, he could have gone an 8th inning and saved the bullpen a little bit more. But considering this topsy-turvy series, the O's start by scoring 22 on Friday night, then get belt to booty yesterday, 11-3, a loss, and losing Zach Eflin to a lower back injury, this was exactly what the doctor ordered. Hats off to Dean Kremer, mazel tov. Just got a little bit out in front there, like the Rays were at the plate. No hard contact either. Couple of flyouts that went 96, 98 miles an hour off the bat, but nothing cooking on that front. 2 starts against the Rays this year for Dean, 12 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and that includes the one down in Tampa. 7 hits, 10 strikeouts to 3 walks. You will take that to the bank. Defensively, loved it. And it was capped by this great catch by Colton Cowser, top of the 8th. Sensational. Danny Jansen at the plate, a runner on, Keegan Aiken on the mound, the left-hander. Colton takes away what could have been a 2-run home run over that short wall out in left field. takes it to the air and takes away a home run from Danny Jansen to cap off this 5-1 win. Felix Bautista gives up a home run to Brandon Lau there in the top of the ninth, but nothing doing otherwise. And good for Colton to take that home run away so it didn't completely change the trajectory and make this a high intensity, high leverage ninth inning for Felix Bautista. Coming up, we're going to take a look at the O's performance at the plate. Some really clutch and good situational hitting. They start 4 of 10 with runners in scoring position through the first 6 innings. Some productive outs that we're going to get into. Making contact when needed against right-hander Taj Bradley, who they wore down. And that's all coming up after this break. Before we continue here on the Orioles Postcast, go ahead, leave a comment or shout it out loud. Scream it from the rooftops who your player of the game is and any thoughts here live on YouTube. Stick with us. The summer is heating up and so is FanDuel. We like those summer sports, golf on the green, baseball, of course, that's why we're all here. America's game, high stakes soccer action, and FanDuel is going to make every game more exciting. You're already following, so why not make it a little bit more thrilling? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburnt with FanDuel. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and makes even regular season games feel like must-watch events. Careful not to do that to your detriment, though. If you had Zach Eflin yesterday with 2.5 strikeouts, sorry. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. Thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring this show on the Locked On Podcast Network. I double punched that Locked On logo there. Who's our player of the game? One last call for all of you here in the chat. I got mine.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Dean Kremer. Way to give the bullpen a much-needed refresher. And Christina Rosati comments as much on YouTube Live. She says, it's got to be Dean. He gave the bullpen a much-needed break. David Owen chimes in as well that this is Dean's game. Man, he's looked great of late. Even that start at Yankee Stadium, the Roku channel game, I thought that was excellent. He did a great job. So shout out to the right-hander. He heats up once April gets put in the rear view, and they're going to need him down the stretch to eat innings and be that person of value. The big takeaway offensively today is that the O's were able to scratch across 5 runs minus the long ball. Better situational hitting than we had usually seen this year. And all the runs are scored with less than 2 outs. The book on Taj Bradley, the right-hander who they faced today, was that he throws his fastball around 46% of the time. Credit to the O's for fighting off some tough pitches, extending at bats, and getting their pitch to hit. Sitting fastball, but then staying wary of the curveball and off-speed pitches with 2 strikes. The O's, to their credit, have been hitting .339 with runners in scoring position since June 13th. And this month, they were slugging .559 with RISP, which was second in Major League Baseball. The first 2 months of the season, including March, .353 slugging percentage. And that is well below average for a team of confident, well-built Major League hitters. And we'll take things to the bottom of the 5th. The O's are already up 1-0, and it's the subject of tonight's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
1-0 game, Taj Bradley on the bump. Gary Sanchez takes a fastball on the outside part of the plate to right field for a single. 107 off the bat. Cannot state enough how well Gary Sanchez has been hitting since coming off with the wrist injury from the IL. Cedric Mullins, then first pitch, bunt single. We've seen this a couple times already, but the team leader in home runs lays down a perfect bunt, and it is just enough to get this rally started. That bunt placed perfectly to Taj Bradley, and that is what cooks this whole thing, gets it going. Kobe Mayo up with no one out, a 1-2 count, gets a curveball high, fists it up the middle. Gary Sanchez playing or standing right in front of Taylor Walls, able to set a screen, which allows that ball to dribble through, Sanchez then rounds third and chugs home. Good send by third base coach Buck Britton. Chandler Simpson in center field can't get that ball in on a line correctly, so there's no competent throw at the plate, and it's 2-0. Some much deserved breathing room for Dean Kremer and this O's pitching staff. Then an out later, Jackson Holliday able to hit a ground ball to the first baseman, which allows Mayo and Mullins to advance. Runners are going with the pitch, basically acts as a swinging bunt or a sacrifice fly. Hit and run on, if you will. And then Ramon Urias gets a cutter away, finishes a really good 6-pitch at bat, hits a sac fly to Simpson and center field. And that allows a run to score, which is exactly what the doctor ordered. 3-0 by just good plate presence and good situational hitting. Didn't have to tear the cover off the ball, didn't have to swing for the fences, didn't have to sell out on the fastball. They just put bat to ball. And the O's really good there. So the O's are up 3-0, bottom six. Ryan O'Hearn with a good double splitter over the plate. Then Ramon Laureano with an infield single to Taylor Walls, which gives you runners at second and first. Colton Cowser flies out. And that is when Kevin Cash pulls Taj Bradley to put in the right-hander Kevin Kelly against Gary Sanchez. El Kraken, first pitch, hits a ground ball to the right side. That's a single. O'Hearn scores, makes it 4-0. And Cedric Mullins, another clutch appearance at the plate. 6-pitch at bat, ends with the sac fly to left field. Laureano scores. It's 5-0. And Kobe Mayo, with 2 outs, just barely missed a home run to the deepest part of the ballpark. Flies out to Simpson there at the tip of the warning track. But it's 5-0, and that's all the O's would do at the plate. We'll circle back to the bottom of the second as well. Saw Ramon Laureano, first pitch he saw, a double to left center field fastball. His 10th two-bagger of the season. He was hitting .297 with a .970 OPS against right-handers. And as a reminder, Ramon was brought in to be a platoon player and hit left-handers, but with injuries and just the need for an everyday presence in the lineup, Ramon has just been one of the most valuable hitters on this team, if not the most. And then Colton Cowser, first pitch fastball he sees, hits it to left field. Laureano scores. The relay throw is offline. That was the first run of the game, a 1-0 lead for the O's. They finish 4 for 12 with runners in scoring position, and that's .333. That's clutch. 4 hits with runners in scoring position should get the job done. If you want to create a run scoring opportunity each inning and get runners in scoring position, 4 hits spread out over 7 innings that they had with runners and with that slim of a margin, you'll take that. The O's carry on, hope to build off of this, and they play tomorrow. No off day. They're in Arlington to play the Texas Rangers down in Texas. It's an 8:05 first pitch, and it is a redux of a pitching matchup we just had when the Rangers were visiting the Yard. Left-hander Trevor Rogers gets the bump after his best start as an Oriole. That 8-inning, no runs allowed game, 3 strikeouts in that 6-0 shutout win. That was on the 23rd of June. Rogers' cumulative numbers, he's 1-0 with a 1.62 ERA and 13 Ks over 3 starts. He's going to be a staple in this rotation. He should be a mainstay so long as he keeps this up. His counterpart is projected to be left-hander Patrick Corbin. He gave up 5 earned runs in that same game, took the loss, 9 hits. So the O's got their work cut out for him. Try to study up and see if they can improve their plate approach against the southpaw for those Texas Rangers. And that will wrap things up. 10 games this month against the Yankees and the Rays combined. And we had mentioned end of May, start of this month, that these were going to be the pivotal moments. And how do the O's finish? 5-5. So kind of like they were running in circles. They didn't make or gain a whole lot of ground. In fact, you could argue that they didn't. As of right now, 11 games under 500, sitting 6.5 games out of the wild card pending results. And really, my rule of thumb has always been 5.5 games out by the trade deadline. The O's can take a step forward, but if they are going to get hot, it's got to be before the All-Star break. General Manager Michael Elias has mentioned that he has to prepare for both scenarios. It is seeming like a year where you flip the guys in their contract years, the Zach Eflins of the world. But who's to say? And there are some guys with player options, the Andrew Kittredges and Ramon Laureanos, that you might want back if you want to retool and get this club hot out the gate in 2026. But that's a story for another time. The final score tonight, the Baltimore Orioles 5 and the Tampa Bay Rays 1. Good night, stay safe, and I will see you right back here tomorrow night.